Hey guys, it's Chris with KrisLovesCrochet, and I wanted to jump in on the fun that everybody's having with the crochet and chat, with the Q&As. I know that when I do my videos, I typically don't talk a whole lot about myself. I mean, I do, like anybody else, I like to talk about myself. I'm enjoying watching some of the other content creators do the Q&A and share a little bit more about themselves. And I just wanted to offer that opportunity. If you guys have any questions for me, where I came from, what I'm doing in Bangkok, anything, then feel free to post those questions down in the comment section. And I will do another video. If there's at least one question, then I will do another video in order to answer those questions that anybody might have. So just to get you started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And if you guys have any questions, just put them down there. And pretty much, I'm an open book, pretty much. I don't mind answering questions, but I don't want to talk about myself if people aren't interested in it. So I just try to keep it to business. So if there's anything that you've been curious about, ask me and I'll probably answer it. If there's anything that I don't feel comfortable answering, then I won't answer it. But you're welcome to put the question down. And let's see if anybody has anything they're curious about. So I was born. No, I'm not going to do that. No, let's see. I am from Texas. Well, from about when I was 11, maybe 10, 11, we moved to Texas from South Dakota. And I was in Texas then until just a couple of years ago. In North Texas, mostly the Dallas area. Yeah, went to high school there, went to college at Texas Women's University. I have one daughter, and she was born while I was still in high school. And then I married her dad after she was born because my parents wanted me to finish high school first before I got married. So got married, went to college, got divorced while I was still in college. I think my first year still, so that was kind of short-lived, but that's all right. Still have a wonderful relationship with my daughter's dad, and then I spent the next 18 years finishing school and then raising my daughter. And then as soon as she graduated from high school, she moved to Boston. And now she's in Indiana. So I don't get to see her much. We talk a lot. We do talk a lot. She now has 2 daughters. She's married. She got married first and then had children. And she has 2 daughters. So I have a son-in-law and 2 granddaughters now. And they live in Indiana, like I said. I've been teaching for the past 20 years. I am 56 years old. Been teaching for the past 20 years, and I first had my degree. My degree is in music therapy, which is in a dual major pretty much of music and psychology. And so I worked in a psychiatric hospital and nursing homes for a few years, and then I became a computer programmer, and then I wanted to be a teacher. So I got my alternative certification, started teaching. And then after several years, almost 20 years, getting kind of tired of it, needed something new, but I still wanted to teach. An opportunity came up for me to do some international teaching. And so then I ended up in Bangkok. In Bangkok, Thailand. And it is freaking hot here, let me tell you. Even in North Texas, there were times when I was cold. I mean, like the chill to the bone. I just don't like, I mean, I grew up in South Dakota. I didn't think I was cold there. And in Texas, I wasn't really that cold. I got hot. But then as an adult, when the opportunity came to came up to come to Bangkok and be warm all year long, I jumped on it. And it is hot. It's hotter than I really understand sometimes. So, yeah, it's warm here. But I am really enjoying, my time here and a little bit of the explorations that I've been on. Not a lot, because I work full time. But I have gone a few places, and my mom and my older sister, have come to visit me twice now, which I feel like the luckiest girl in the world, that they come to see me. And I'm just thrilled, and I'm hoping that next year my daughter will come. Her babies will be old enough for her to take a little bit of time, because they're not quite old enough to really appreciate the cost, to appreciate the visit based on what it costs to get here. So I'm hoping that that my daughter will be able to come up and visit. And I would love, 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 love that, Whitney. I would. I really want to share this with you. So, what else? I teach, this year, I teach psychology, all psychology, and I am loving that. Before I left, I spent several years in Texas teaching psychology and economics. And I enjoy both of those. They're both social sciences. So I really enjoy teaching both of those. So when I first came here last school year, at my first school here in Bangkok, I was teaching economics and psychology. And really enjoyed that. But really wanted a chance to just immerse myself in psychology. And along with other reasons, I decided to pursue a different school with a different opportunity where I could teach psychology all day long, every day. And I am so thankful and appreciative and grateful for the opportunity to do that. I never thought that I would be able to stay away from home. I'm pretty close with my mom and my sisters and my daughter. We don't all live in the same town, but some of us always have. And yeah, it's very strange to be so far away from, I mean, the town that I was living, the Dallas area, is my mom and my dad and my little sister. My big sister is in Colorado, and my daughter is in Indiana, like I said. So a little bit, but now that I'm way over here in Thailand, boy, we used to live close, because this is not close. So, but I'm enjoying the simplicity of the culture here a lot. And I just messed that up again. I can't talk and crochet at the same time. Just trying to do little granny squares. I never liked granny squares. I hated granny squares. And now I love them. So I'm designing some different wearables, some different pieces using granny squares and using some graph paper. And I'm going to share that with you guys when I have a little bit to share. How I do it anyway. So I teach psychology. I have taught psychology and economics mostly. I have, for very short spurts of time, taught history, world history, U.S. history. I've taught sociology, geography. I've taught geography. Anyway, but I love this. And it's also interesting because most international teachers, many of the international teachers that I have worked with and are working with, are younger, because they are, they're adventurous, and they were able to start like right out of school or a few years after getting their teaching license. And so they're younger. They're the age of my daughter, or younger. Most of them are younger than my daughter. So I'm doing this in this time of my life. So that's kind of exciting. It's kind of fun. I'm so grateful to be healthy enough to do this in my 50s. So, yeah. What else? So I'm coming to you here in my little comfy corner. My TV is right behind you. Big old TV. Came with this condo. And my little whip cart is here. And at my feet that you can't see is just a bunch of yarn and a bunch of whips. You know, this is a lounge, kind of a lounge, chaise lounge kind of couch. Yeah. And it's, I don't have a lot of room on this couch because I keep all my projects up here with me because I just float from one project to the next. I don't like to get bored. So I like to have everything at my fingertips. I have 2 cats that I've mentioned before. They're 2 black cats. They are Bombay cats, I believe. They were rescues. So, well, their mother was a rescue, and she was pregnant when she was taken in. So my little kitties never had to live on the streets, but they needed a home, and so I took them in. They're sisters, litter mates, and they're so sweet. It's so nice to have the company. You know, I have to get up. I have to keep food, at least cat food, in the place. So, you know, it's a little bit of it's a little motivation, a little encouragement just to keep the house a home instead of just a place to come crash at, you know? So that's really nice. The village that I live in is still in Bangkok, but it's not in the city. And the school is outside of the city. It's to the east of Bangkok. And where I live is just about a mile down the street. This village is about a mile down the street from the school. Heathfield International School is where I'm teaching. And they teach a British curriculum, so I'm teaching GCSE and A levels, psychology, and it's been a long time since I've enjoyed thinking about school or work, you know, thinking about school while I'm not at work. Enjoy thinking about it, enjoy going to work. I'm still tired and ready to come home at the end of the day. I don't resist going home. But it's been a long time since I've been able to, well, I think this is the first time in my life as an adult, I think, that I feel like I've been able to simplify my life enough to sit back and enjoy it. This is an amazing gift. Amazing gift to go to a country the culture is so different, and to me it's much less complex than the American culture. Yeah, I can get into that more if you guys are interested. Everybody rides motorcycles here. Well, a lot of people do. I love riding motorcycles, and I don't drive, but there's motorcycle taxis here that are much easier to get than the regular taxi or the Grab or the Bolt, which is like Uber and Lyft. And you can get a motorcycle on those as well. So I usually get a motorcycle. We are coming up to rainy season, however, which a lot of people do ride their bike in the rain. I don't want to. I don't think that it's safe, and I just don't want to wear those plastic rain ponchos, you know. Anyway, but this summer when I'm here and don't have work to go to, I'm gonna try to learn how to ride a bike. I tried it earlier guys may have seen that short video that I had out of when I tried, the one day I tried, and the one day that I failed horribly. But that's on my to-do list, at least around the village here. There's no real busy streets or anything. So at least around here, just to give me some mobility without having to call a motorcycle to take me somewhere. I can just go out on my own scooter and go around town. There are a lot of teachers that ride their own scooter to school from the village here. Several teachers live here, which is nice. So I would be able to go visit my neighbors, visit my coworkers, and not have to worry about calling a cab. One of my neighbors here that live like right across the park, I just have to go down to the first floor, go across the parking lot, go up in their building. So it's a building right next door. They just rented a car. They want to have a car for the rainy season so that they're safer, because, you know, it's just, when it rains, it pours here, and it's just not safe on a motorcycle. And so, so they're getting a car, and they have a car now, and they have offered to let me ride with them if I'm ready on time, and get a ride home. So today was the first day, but I wanted to ride the motorcycle, so I didn't go with them. But there's a forecast of rain. There's a few days this week where I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's about a 50% chance of rain. So it's going to cool things off, which has been over 100 for weeks now. And it doesn't get down below about 85 at night. So it's hot. But the rains will cool things off a little bit. And then I don't know from there, you know, what kind of rainy season we're going to have this year. Last year wasn't much. So we do need it. A little bit more of a rainy season this year for some cleaning of the air, flooding of some of the fields that they, you know, it's tropical, so they need some of that, you know, heavy rain for their crops and things. And anyway, so before the end of the week, we're in school until the 24th of June, I think. So when the rainy season comes, they'll have that car, and they're right here, and they've offered to not carpool, but give me a ride to school where we both work. Well, all three of us work. There's two of them. And so that's a really nice offer. Makes me nervous because in the rainy season, just because it's harder to find cars. And then when it's raining and you got to get somewhere, everybody who usually takes a motorcycle, almost everybody who usually takes a motorcycle, is calling for the car. And there's a lot of people who don't drive themselves, even Thai nationals, you know, that it's just part of the culture, the current culture around here. Traffic is horrible inside Bangkok, and that's with a lot of people, you know, carpooling and calling a cab. And, you know, if there weren't all those motorcycles, I was just thinking the other day, if there weren't all those motorcycles that were part of the traffic, you wouldn't be able to get around. It's kind of like New York City in a way. It's not as big, but in Bangkok proper, if, you know, like New York City, if they didn't have the subway and all those cabs and stuff, I don't know that people could get around on the streets if everybody had a car like they do in Dallas. So, yeah. The next video that I'm planning on doing is some more Granny Square stuff. So I'm just really going down that road. But I am designing, I'm doing a dress right now, and also another top, and also I'm doing something else with Granny Squares I can't think of it right now. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how I do it, how I design using Granny Squares. So maybe you'll like that. If you like Granny Squares, they are all coming back in style these days. So there's lots of different things you can do with them. And sometimes I just feel like sitting down and crocheting, but I don't want to think, I don't want to do anything, so I'll just grab some yarn that makes me happy and start making some granny squares, or half squares, or triangles, or circles to squares, and just play with color. And then I've got stacks of them around here, and then I'm like, what can I do? And then I see what I can shape them into. So, one other thing about me is that I'm a musician, and I'm a singer, and I was in a band for several years, a few bands, for several years in the States. And the music teacher at my school is putting together a teacher band. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be playing keys in it. We're just doing a few songs, but I hope that it turns into something else. So this music teacher, he has a band, but then he also has a few other groups that he kind of plays with. He's a guitarist, and yeah. And some of the other teachers that are going to be joining into this little teacher band are musicians, have done things in the past in bands or on stage or whatever, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun getting back into that. So if you want to hear more about that, I'll tell you. And if you have any questions, if you're just curious about anything, feel free to put those questions in the comments, like I said, and I'll go through those comments, and if there's at least one question, I'll do another Q&A where I can answer those questions. Yeah. Ask me anything if you want. So, as I just thought that I would pull it out of the regular videos. Those are crochet videos, you know. Some of them are tutorials, which I really don't want to put any kind of personal stuff in there, just because things change in life, and I'm hoping that, you know, so the tutorials will be out there for a while, and they may not be relevant to today, right? So those are just tutorials, and then my other videos are just about yarn and crochet and things like that. So yeah, I also have a video I need to do about the field trip that I went on with the school. We went to Kauai National Park and went into the rainforest. I'm trying to gather up some of the other people's photos too, so I have a better, well-rounded picture of our trip. So I'll show that on a different video. I'm just rambling. So thank you so much for hanging around, those of you who are still with me. I don't know why people say that, because of course you're still with me if you hear me say that. Because if I say those of you, that means I'm not talking to the other people who aren't even here. So of course I'm not talking to the other people who aren't here. So thank you for sticking around to the end. If you're curious about anything, feel free to put those questions in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. And I will see you next time. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.